because he thought it was good sport, because some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
In this video, we're going to look at one of the most unorthodox ways to play Bannerlord, showcasing the Joker build. The goal is not conquest, money, or fame, but to sow chaos and death throughout Calradia. This build centers around the charm skill and saving up as much influence as possible and reducing the influence cost of kingdom votes. We need 10 attribute points into social and 5 focus points into charm. Level 50 increases influence from battles by 30%. 125 Firebrand reduces influence needed to call policy votes, and 275 will give plus 16 per day at level 330 charm. I'll show you the rest of the way I build my Joker, but it's much less important. Be sure to follow the charm perks to the T. I prefer to build out two-handed, throwing, athletics, riding, scouting, roguery, and medicine. Here are my personal perks for each, but keep in mind nothing else matters here but charm. The early game revolves around gang fights in towns and winning tournaments. We need to become proficient in our combat skills, reach clan tier 2 to become a vassal, earn enough money to survive, and more importantly, increase our charm skill. Tournaments can help with renown and money, but clearing gangs will give us everything including charm skill. If you're skilled enough, you can clear out a large section by yourself without any combat skills leveled. If you prefer a more Joker-like approach, you can kill one bandit at a time, run away until they disengage, talk to one as they walk back, and fight him solo when his buddies have moved far away. Throwing daggers are great here as well since we can pepper them from a distance. After 25 days of clearing gangs, I accumulated 94 renown, almost 60,000 dinars, main character level at 15, and lots of skill levels. Another 10 days or so of fighting and we can easily reach 150 renown and clan tier 2, which is where the fun begins. First, we need to find a target kingdom and become a vassal. My preference is to pick on a kingdom that borders many other kingdoms. Battania, Sturgia, or any of the Empire kingdoms are a great first target. Now we need to build up influence, which we can do through clearing gangs, tournaments with Charm 25 self-promoter, clearing bandit hideouts, or fighting with our allies. Once we have some influence, we can start pumping out Charm XP through kingdom votes, which is done by voting in support of someone. The highest XP comes from voting for the king, especially when it comes to granting land. If the king isn't part of the vote, just vote for anyone and boost the vote as much as you can. Once we reach level 175 charm, we can kick our XP gain into overdrive. This perk gives us back the influence spent to support a failed vote, which means we need to support the losing side, but make sure it's always the highest it can be without going above the highest support level. It shouldn't take more than 20 votes before we crack 275 charm.
Cry havoc! Let's slip the dogs of war.
Now our true intentions begin to surface. We call parties into an army and lead them forth to conquer the enemy. This group of 96 enemy troops is no match for our 700, but they are a match for our smallest party of 59. We dismiss him from the army, giving him a disorganized speed penalty, and move away so the Empire troops can engage him. However, if we want to get serious about this, we need to find a bigger enemy. 500 troops will do just fine, releasing small parties nearby and allowing them to get captured. We can even bait our own troops into engaging as long as we're close enough. The AI will always assume we will jump in to help, but of course we have no such intentions. We feed the battle slowly, making sure not to put too many troops and allowing our allies to win. Unfortunately, we fed the beast too much this time. Here we go again, taking more care this time to not release too many groups into the fray. The enemy survives and takes many noble prisoners, removing their troops from the battlefield and weakening the kingdom as a whole. With only 400 friendly troops left in our army, we dump the rest next to the enemy and run away. Because we don't have a party, our movement speed makes us impossible to catch. Finally, all of our allies have been swallowed whole. With the kingdom's army wiped out, we can move on to phase 2, perpetual wars. It's time to pay the AI back for all the terrible war votes they force upon us when we try to run our own kingdom. It costs 250 influence to call the vote, and only 2 nobles oppose us. Even with 50% of the votes, we may still lose, so we abstain. The nobles have already pledged their influence regardless of what we do, so don't waste the influence on a losing vote. We can call the vote again, but this time, Caladog only pledges tier 1 support instead of tier 2, so we can pass the war declaration with our own tier 3 support for 150 influence. We've got him on the ropes. It's only a matter of time before our kingdom is at war with the entirety of Calradia, and Caladog doesn't even have enough to sue for peace with any of them. There's no turning back now. The world will burn, and we will relish every moment of it. With the majority of the nobles drained of their influence, we now have free reign to do as we please. Time to cancel the good policies they have and enact only the damaging ones. Most clan leaders have 100 charm or higher, and we don't want them to have free influence, so we cancel that one. Sometimes there's no opposition to a vote, which means we can abstain, save our own influence, and still pass. Crown duty is a pretty nasty policy. It gives the rulers some money, but increases the trade penalty at towns, making them less attractive for traders, and decreasing prosperity by 1 per day. The ruling clan is usually wealthy as it is, so this provides no benefit to anybody and only hurts the other clans. Exactly what we want. I've recently updated the policy database so we can separate exactly which policies we want to enact. For example, a kingdom that only has their starting fiefs will likely have no rebellions, even with lower loyalty from policies. However, we can reduce their income dramatically by passing these policies. 6 policies reduce tax income by a total of 30%, and 1 policy increases troop wages by 10%. This could easily bankrupt clans, or at the very least, reduce the size of their army. Another strategy is to pass all the influence draining policies, making it easier to pass the votes we want. These policies will reduce all clans by 1.2 influence per day, the ruler clan by 2.2 per day, make it cost twice the influence for the leader to declare war, and double the cost of overriding votes, making it much easier for us to outvote them. Once we forced a kingdom to collapse, we can join another kingdom, preferably one that took wrong culture fiefs. By passing these 3 policies, we add an extra negative 1.7 loyalty on top of the -3 they already have, making it a matter of time before the fief rebels. And now we've come to the coup de grace. Calradia is collapsing all around us. Enemies are pushing in from all sides, but we can speed it up even further. We can now steal fiefs from other clans by 2 different methods: voting to redistribute a fief, or voting to kick the entire clan out of the kingdom. We can bring up a vote to take a fief away from a clan and give it to someone else, and since we have no fiefs, we show up on the voting most of the time. However, this is a fairly ineffective way to destroy a kingdom from within. If we were to instead vote to kick the clan out that owns the fief we want, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Not only will that clan's troops no longer be available, but the fiefs will stay back within the kingdom and we can vote for ourselves to take them over. Once we vote everyone out, we will own half or more of the fiefs in the kingdom. At this point, we can leave Caladog to his fate. He's at war with 7 other kingdoms, he's completely alone since all other clans have been booted, his kids and clan members were fed to the enemy and are in jail, and now we leave with more than half of his kingdom. He will declare war on us, but he has no army to retaliate with. And since we're not part of a kingdom anymore, we cannot have war declared on us by anyone else. We now own most of Botania and have 0 risk of losing anything. What do we do with all this money, you might ask?
All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal. And I'm gonna give it to him. It's not about money. It's about sending a message. Everything burns.
That's right. It's time to sow more chaos. We empty the garrisons from all the fiefs we own, declare war on the world, and watch the slaughter. They've cornered us in our last fief, and Durthert wants blood. We shall let him have it. There are too many. Here they come, boys. We fight to the last man.
Why so serious? Let's put a smile on that face.
Don't forget to put a smile on that like button, and I'll catch you on the next one. A huge shout out to the channel members and Patreon supporters who help keep this channel alive. And let slips... And these policies will... The nobles